Here we are once again at the 2022 Birdie Open Round 2 Back 9 coverage presented by Gatekeeper Media. This is a PDGA A-Tier Run Productions bringing you this coverage once again. I am Felix.
And I am Conrad. We're coming here from Newark, Delaware.
Newark. I don't know how you exactly
It depends on if you're local or if you're not. I don't know.
But back at the Iron Hill course, we've seen a tough battle so far between specifically Emily and Eden kind of going back and forth here on the front nine, and we've got a back nine that offers just as many challenges as the front.
Yeah, so nothing is set in stone here, even though this is Iron Hill. Anything can happen.
We start things off here with a par 5, hole 10, 615 feet, a very tight right to left turning shot here. This backside of this turn comes up very quick. If you can get something on your initial drive here, right around where these railroad ties are, you're doing great stuff. Your secondary shot here just needs to stay in the middle here to give yourself a look at an approach for a possible birdie. We did see a birdie during round 1. I would expect the high level caliber play to get at least one birdie during this round as well.
We have Emily on the box. She did this perfectly round 1.
It's almost a carbon copy of what she did during round 1. A little shorter this time,
which was probably favorable since that tree is right there.
Yeah.
You see Eden going backhand, but she hits the tree before she actually gets to the turn, so we'll just have to see how she plays it from there.
I'm a little surprised she didn't go with like a force flex forehand. We have seen that play before, and the action of it finishing back out can get you a little further up. Michelle making the correction from round 1. She was all over the left side of this hole the entire way during round 1.
So now you're seeing that force flex. She tries to scramble up. Stays on the left side, it looks like.
Yeah, never quite fought its way back out over into the fairway. You see one of our spotters heading over there. This looks a little forced over to the right-hand side. Fights a little bit back towards the fairway for Michelle.
She's going to have those little trees to deal with on her swing. So we'll look at Emily going straight up the middle. Looks like she'll have one tree to contend with approaching to the green. Otherwise, it's a good shot.
Nice pitch out.
Punching right back out to the fairway there.
Almost didn't see that. Going with a forehand approach.
Trusting that disc on angle the entire way. Nicely done there. She'll outside of the circle there, but she'll have a look for the par.
Looks like there is a little bit of headwind.
I'm sorry, for the birdie. It's a par 5.
She'll turn that over just a little bit too much getting out of there.
Yeah, there's definitely some wind, and this is one of the holes where it's kind of open enough and close to the parking lot area, which is a little more open. So the wind kind of siphons through here. Oh, pulled that one a bit there.
Yep.
The long approach here for Hanson. Keeping it right on line with the target the entire time, and she'll have an easy tap in there for her part.
It's a great approach. Looks like Eden is going with a backhand approach here. She may be actually trying to run this. And she is. Oh, and hits a koozie. Oh. Sure has a difficult approach out, but she accomplishes that well to get next to the basket so she can tap in.
Par there for Emily.
Eden with her par.
Playing it smart on her second shot, is able to scramble to save the par there. Well done. I don't remember if Michelle had a cart during round 1. It's not exactly a cart-friendly course with all the rocks. And
I don't think she did.
yeah.
She's able to tap in for the par, and the entire cart is taking a par on this one.
Hole 10 actually playing below par, 0.33 strokes.
So hole 11, it is a par 4 coming in at 475 feet. A little open off the front considering the rest of this course. You want to get through these gaps if possible. You got plenty of gaps left or right and center to hit. Ideally, you want your second shot to be a clean, easy approach shot into the green. A few trees to miss and a few rocks on the green, but nothing that's terribly going to kick you wayward if you land there. And Emily taking the right side, keeping it straight and penetrating all the way through without hitting the thing. That is perfect. She'll have an easy approach to try to secure her bird. Eden going with forehand, and she is trying to flex something up the right side. She's going to end up on the right, and she gets knocked down by a tree. That's still fine. She'll still have a fairly easy approach into the green. And we expect Michelle to be throwing one of her Blizzard Katanas, possibly.
Staying center pretty much the entire time, and this is heading over to where Emily's disc ended up.
And both of those areas are both fine landing areas to approach into the green.
Yeah, it should open up the hyzer line for her. This isn't too bad here for Eden with that forehand that she has. Saws it off a little bit early, though.
Yep.
And gets clipped down on the right-hand side. Michelle pushing that right side as we thought with that hyzer, finishing right back over to the left, getting a pretty friendly reaction on the ground there.
Yeah, a little deep, but not quite outside the circle.
I'm a little surprised we're not seeing that little touch forehand here for Emily. She opts for the backhand.
With that glow Costaplast?
Yes. But she puts it inside of about 25 feet.
That's her putting range. Eden here with a long bid. Oh, hits a tree. Still just outside the circle, so she'll be up next with another putt.
Strong bid, just a little left the entire way, but I like the commitment to the pace on that and the height.
Yep.
Michelle just leaking left at the end of her putt there.
Yeah, I think that tree may have got to her head just a bit.
And a strong putt back there for Eden, coming back for her bogey.
Mm-hmm.
Emily left this for par. That wind, you can see picking up, moving the flag, moving the leaves all around her.
Yeah. Once you know it's actually moving that flag, that's, you know, substantial. Yeah. Those flags aren't light.
She got a little bit of a lift there at the end of her putts. Oh, that was her birdie putt.
Yeah, it's a par 4.
Goodness. Forgot she was down there too.
And Michelle going with her turbo to bang it in.
The race continues to tighten here. Hole 12, a par 3, 300 feet. Initially, you just want to hit this center gap here. There is out of bounds running the length of this hole on the right-hand side as there is a pathway that does play as OB. Just want your disc coming in as straight as you can here and coming into these rocks or boulders that kind of look like the rocks that are on the disc that you just saw that are available on our website. Cheap plug. But avoiding these rocks here and controlling the skip at the end here will be crucial, as well as a rollaway can easily add strokes or even take you out of bounds. Emily with a low laser line here gets a little bit of a forward skip.
Not going to make it all the way to the green, but close enough to really kind of like pitch up safely and walk away with a par.
So pushing that katana up the left-hand side, looking for some flip, but it's just kind of finished left-hand side there.
So finishing up top, that right there is kind of the safer play. You do have a chance of rolling down, but with the rocks there, it would typically stop it from getting too far out of hand. Eden going with the forehand.
This is a little bit of a scary play because it's finishing to the right towards that OB. Gets a nice checkup on one of those rocks there to stop it from going any further to the right.
Looks like she'll have a weird kind of reach around to try to make a putt from where Eden is. She kind of opts just to lay it up, not to run it.
Yeah. Michelle, though, running
she
after
was running it for sure.
And it stays up, stays safe. Now she's got this comebacker here.
Oh.
Just short, but it does stay put. Michelle, I'm sure, looking at the scores, realizing that she's got to run after some of these opportunities that are presented to her, and she went for it there.
Yeah, I think her and Becky, who's on this chase car, were like neck and neck at the turn. So
it's a great thing about live scoring. You get to see where you're at. You can kind of make decisions on the fly.
Oh, I don't look at scores. I hate looking at scores.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll check in, but it's got to be second half of the round. I need to know.
I don't want to know at all. What
holes I need to kind of push it on. Do you guys let us know in the comments if you guys look at live scoring during your rounds, if that's affecting your play? We'd like to know that. Oh, so we're on opposite ends of the spectrum on that one.
Hole 13 is a par 3 coming in at 360 feet. It's quite a lot less than that since it is so significantly downhill. You want to make this initial gap, still pushing forward, but eventually tapering off to the left, getting by these guardian trees as you try to approach the green area. If you're off to the right, there is a parking lot on the entire length of the hole that is OB, and if you're off to the left, that's just natural OB. You want to get to the green and have a clean, easy putt. We
saw Emily obliterate this hole during round 1, and not quite so during round 2 here.
Yeah.
She put it inside of 15 feet during round 1. It's got some sauce behind it.
That is moving. Finds that one tree though. Had a little shape to it. I thought it was going to try to sneak through. Let's see what Michelle does here. She's off to the right. That is a little nerve-wracking, but she gets kicked to the left. It's a little nerve-wracking because you could easily get kicked to the parking lot and end up taking an OB stroke.
This is a very difficult second shot here. Patent pending, basically turnover line with a stable disc, and she does well to keep it right in the middle there, giving her a long look for a par.
Yeah, right at the circle's edge.
See a punch out back to the middle there for Michelle.
And Eden opting for a forehand approach here.
Just an Invisalign. I didn't even see what she hit, really.
Yeah.
Had a ceiling to contend with there.
Michelle's thinking about it. All right, she's going with her forehand with a putter.
Just doesn't get any kind of reaction there.
Yeah, she covered her face as soon as she threw it. I don't know if it was slippage or if she was like, oh no.
Right on the pole there. That'll be pretty stress-free for Eden. Long look here for Michelle. And she cans the long putt for bogey.
Let's get a run back on that.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Doggone Good Disc Golf for sponsoring these run backs. Big floaty bid centers the chains there for Michelle. A great bogey save on this hole. Eden. Nope.
Emily with a nice putt from the circle's edge.
I hope you guys are keeping a counter how many times I've messed that up.
Oh, I hope they do. And I hope they put it in the comments.
And the tap out there for whoever that was. That was
so Eden, now Emily, the E's are tied.
Yes, there you go. Hole 14, a par 3, pretty much a straight shot at 300 feet. One of the more generous gaps on this course. You just want to take your straightest disc that you can, have it flip up the middle of this gap here, avoid the right or left or the squirrel that we just saw on the right hand side, finishing onto this green, which doesn't have quite as many rocks or boulders as some of these other greens. So it's really just a matter of trusting your shot up the gut, forehand or backhand, to give yourself a birdie look here on a relatively easy hole on this track.
Emily put something kind of high, finishing over to the left.
About where she was during round one.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Eden's going forehand.
And she's got the power to get one down there. She's flexing this one a little further left than I think she would have liked, and gets a late tree kick there, bringing it back towards the middle.
And Michelle, with her katana in her hand, puts a move on it, and this is looking great. She's going to get by some of the rocks. I think it's going to be just outside. Oh, no, that's okay. I see where the feather is now.
Yeah.
So she'll have a long, clear bid, and I think she'll go for it with her putt. I don't know. It's kind of windy.
Yeah,
her putt being so high, kind of. That was a great tree correction. And going for it. Ooh, that was a great line.
Mm-hmm.
Emily here.
Hanson with a long bid from the left-hand side, wrapping around and almost dropping it in there for her birdie.
So I'm starting to see that, just slightly off to the right and a little low. Emily, she, good bogey putt for Eden. The back half seems to be a little bit stronger for her. She's finished strong on the first round on the back half as she's doing here again.
Yeah, good catch on that. You saw her almost play completely clean on the back half during round one. And so far, she's been able to do so on the back of round two. Getting pars all along the way so far.
So we see Emily takes the one-stroke lead over Eden.
Join our Patreon crew. Check us out at patreon.com/AceRunPro. You get exclusive and early access to content, podcasts, monthly and quarterly giveaways, special guests for just as little as $3 a month. Check us out at patreon.com/AceRunPro.
Here at hole 15, it is a par 3 coming in at 250 feet. You have these two trees that frame up the initial gap that you want to hit. The hole is going to play a little bit longer than that 250 since you have that initial uphill that you have to go through. Once you get up here, you want to dodge these other gauntlet of guardian trees to get to the green. We've seen players miss this to the left or right and then have to scramble to try to clean up for a par.
All right, time for another quiz. Round one, this one played slightly above par. For round two, what do you think? Did we have it at par, above par, or below par?
I don't know. Last time I said at par, and there was no over-under for me, so I'm going to go with over.
It was over par. Played actually a half a stroke above par.
Oh,
so
wow.
For a shorter hole, it's definitely a lot more tricky, and this wind is not making it any easier. Seen a couple of backhands so far.
Eden with a forehand. Let's see if she does a little flex with it. Oh, it started out, but it just did not stay through the gap.
It's almost the same thing we saw during round one. If you're not hitting that initial gap of those trees, you're just not going to have success on this hole.
Here's Emily with her glow disc that I like, that she apparently likes as well. Oh, hits the tree coming in, puts her at the circle's edge.
Smooth flick sidearm there. Little hyzer approach.
It's that circle one putting. And Michelle.
Long bid.
Oh.
Just off the right-hand side. Beautiful.
There's
putt.
Emily with the putt.
Continues on the par train so far. 6 for 6 with par so far on the back half.
Oh. Eden with the confident putt, but slightly off to the left. Touch and change, but not staying.
Slow down a bit here and focus. Okay, gets it in the middle. Sometimes you have a tendency to just walk up to those and not even think about it, and then all of a sudden you push it right or push it left or low, and that bogey can turn into a double real quick.
And Michelle with an easy tap in.
getting breezy here on this back half.
So if we look at the scores for the round, they are starting out where they ended. All the players are 7 over at this point. So the separation from the first round is still there.
Yeah, absolutely. On hole 16, par 4, 500 feet. A bit of a tricky shot here off of the tee. You're playing for position on this hole. You want to land somewhere right around this last rock stump area here. This opens up your secondary shot into the main fairway here on the left-hand side, which straightens up towards this green here. It's slightly elevated on a rock bed and can lead to some rollaways. But this is definitely a par 4 that is manageable and easily broken down to just 2 250-foot shots to leave yourself a birdie look.
Emily off on the first, and she hits an early tree, rolls back towards the center and stays there. We have Michelle up next.
Needing that to flip a little more, but that's fading left and didn't quite get the turnover she was looking for it. Wondering if that's wind or she's just not getting the angle on it that she liked.
She didn't do the 360, that's why.
That's why. Oh.
Oh.
Gets the rock kick there. And Emily still, she only probably regressed about 100 feet off the tee.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little stable for the shot, gets a tree kick, and she's still going to be on that left-hand side with some work to do just to get back to the fairway.
Yeah, trying to get to the green from the left-hand side is really super complicated, super difficult.
Nice shot there for Eden. Michelle really pinned up against this tree here. And, just truncated release there. You really worry about smashing your hand on a tree there.
I moved my hand back when she swung.
Yes, it's just natural reflex. No matter what you want to tell yourself to go for it, but your body just shuts it down. Unless you're Michael Gibney.
Yeah.
That one fading off a little bit to the left-hand side, so still some work to do down there.
Should be an easy approach for up and down from there as Michelle just puts it under the basket.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want to have any question about this putt.
Yeah. So we're coming down the stretch here of this second round. Big long approach there for Hanson as she puts it right up against that rock bed. Turbo time here for Michelle. With the par.
Eden's up on the rocks as well. Tapping in for her par as Emily taps in for the bogey.
At hole 16 playing exactly at par, 4.0. Saw one bogey and we had one birdie from Margaret Sassaman to level out the scoring and get it to that scoring average.
Hole 17, another iconic hole here at Iron Hill. It's a par 5, 680 feet from the FPO pad. Here, you have a generous fairway. There are trees lining the entire way, but you want to basically stay in the middle. If you're off on the fringes, you can find a tunnel here or there to get you back. You want to approach until you get to just about here till you can decide your attack angle into the elevated green that is surrounded by guardian trees. Have Michelle Frazer going off, throwing one of her Blizzard katanas, and that is picture perfect in the center of the fairway.
Very nicely done there.
Eden going with a forced forehand, but finds a tree on the left side. It stays on the left side, but she still should be able to scramble. She's not too deep.
There's about a 50-foot difference between the FPO pad and the MPO pad on this hole. And just wanted to shout out, we just had the recent news that Seppu Payu is no longer going to be playing competitive disc golf. But a couple years back, he actually eagled this from the MPO pad, which is just absurd to me that you can get a 3 on this hole. And the 2 shots that he threw left him with about a 35-40 footer for the putt. Just absolutely crushed this hole. Oh, again,
She had that tree dialed up the entire way. Didn't have any choice.
Yeah. She's not quite getting the turn she's looking for.
And then maybe trying to compensate for the wind, or not wanting to burn it over.
This time she turns it a little more this time to the right. She squeaks all the way through almost to that pathway leading to hole 18's tee pad.
So she should have, again, some angle of approach into the basket, into the green area. Eating with a forehand.
Not too bad there. She should have a pretty clean approach from that left-hand side up to the platform on the green.
And
that's almost where Eden was exactly during round one.
Yep.
Should be right by those steps there. One of the more iconic greens also, just when you think of Iron Hill, this is one of the holes that kind of pops up in your head, just the steps leading up to hole 17.
I think this is like their actual logo for the course, is this hole.
I don't doubt it. It's a beautiful green and a beautiful hole.
Oh, that was a great shot.
Mm-hmm.
Great touch.
She's going around the other side this time.
Yeah, she's a little further to the left, so she's going the other side. Let's see if she has better results than she did round one. Oh.
Right hand side.
Michelle with the putt.
She did birdie this hole during round one. That was the only birdie during round one. We only had one birdie this round as well, but this time it was Becky Harris.
All right.
As this hole did play exactly to par, 5.0.
And Becky is who Michelle was battling with at the turn.
Mm-hmm. Just one hole left here and a one-stroke separation between Emily and Eden so far. Here we are once again at hole 18, a big time finishing hole, par 4, 580 feet. Initially, you want your tee shot to end up somewhere right around this tree line here. Anything forward of that is even better. Ideally, you want to get something moving from right to left here as this hole kind of banks slightly in that direction and uphill towards this very guarded green here with some massive boulders that can really chip away on your disc and your chances for birdie to close out this round.
Michelle putting a move on her katana.
Ooh.
And almost picture perfect. Hit the last tree. Kicked her to the left just a bit. Eden going with a force flex forehand. And not the same tree. She makes it past. She's down there on the right.
Just a bit of an awkward angle from there. I'm going to turn this one over a little bit too much. Didn't quite have the height to give it time to come back over.
So she finds herself with a difficult placement here.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to throw a forehand out. And she succeeds. She's out. So now she'll be able to approach the green.
Really good punch out there as well from Michelle.
Yep, nice and high, spiky, right into the middle of the fairway.
Another forehand here for Eden.
Oh.
Clips one of the trees you have to beat there to get back to the fairway.
Going backhand with a hyzer flip up. And makes her way to circle's edge.
Mm-hmm.
Great recovery. Emily trying to find a gap, but finds a tree and gets kicked to the left instead.
I would wait.
We have a little friendly spectator on the course. I don't know if that's a rat snake. Okay. I don't know if it was a rat or a king snake.
I would.
Looks very healthy though.
Miss it. Kisses it, but she still makes it to the green.
She's had that putt today. Emily.
Looks Looks like they just came out early.
Yes. Couple options here. I don't know if she's going to go up the gut there. He's got that low-hanging branch, or she's going around it. Yep,
Looks like she's going around it with the hyzer.
Oh! Goodness. Off the top. Almost fireworks to end it.
It stayed put, though. I'm happy that it stayed put. That right there was an amazing run, especially with it being windy out there and having to put it up so high. And Michelle just missing slightly off to the right.
Just a touch low there for Eden. The double there for Emily to finish out her round. One of the few blemishes on her back nine here.
Yep. First round, she just had 2 as well. But those 2 were a 2-stroke swing and not a 3-stroke like this one.
Yeah, so to give you an idea of how difficult hole 18 is, if you check up the live scoring, it doesn't mention any birdies because there were none. It only tells you who got a par. So Becky Harris this time was the only par, as this played 1.33 strokes over par.
Wow, full stroke and plus. All right.
There you see the leaderboard closing things out here for round 2, moving day. We've got some action heading into this final round here. It's still up in the air as to who can take this. In a field of 6, anything can happen. Really appreciate you guys checking out the action from the 2022 Birdie Open. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Ace Run Pro. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. More action coming your way from the 2022 Birdie Open final round still to come. And as always, a big shout out to our Patreon community. Thank you for the incredible support and helping us to get out to events like this. We'll see you back here for the final round from the 2022 Birdie Open.